Alrighty, so this is the week 3 homework number 26. So this is the first time that we are seeing our absolute value operator here. That's what these two vertical bars are on the outside here. And we are asked to evaluate this mathematical expression. So in all, we have the absolute value of -5 times 2 plus a -3. So first things first, guys, you want to treat this absolute value basically as a set of parentheses. However, it's a special set of parentheses because they do perform an operation once we get to the end, or once we get to the point where the operation of the absolute value needs to be taken. All right, so if we're going through our order of operations, remember we start with parentheses first. Specifically, you want to deal with your innermost parentheses. So we have this first set of parentheses in the absolute value itself, and then we have this innermost parentheses, but notice that inside of it all you have is a single value, just one number, which is -3. So we cannot simplify this value any further. So after parentheses, we are now after this innermost parentheses, we're now inside of the absolute value parenthesis, and we need to look for exponents. No exponents in this case, so we are ready for multiplication and division. We do have multiplication. We have -5 times 2, so that's what's going to come first. So inside of this pseudo parentheses, which is an absolute value, we first need to multiply. -5 times 2 is a -10 plus, and we still have this -3 over here. I apologize for the noise. Let me fix that really quick. Hopefully that is a little bit better. So we are still working here inside of this absolute value. We just cleared out all multiplication and division. So the next thing that we are looking at is addition and subtraction. So we have -10 plus a -3. So remember, we're still working inside of our absolute value here. -10 plus a -3, that would be a -13. Okay, so now, once you get down to having exactly one number inside of your absolute value, now you are ready to actually perform the operation of the absolute value. All right, and basically the absolute value just says that if you have a negative number inside of the absolute value, you want it to be changed to a positive number. So instead of having a -13, our answer is going to be a +13 once we take the absolute value. All right, since we have a little bit of time here, I will explain what the what a more mathematical definition of the absolute value is. All right, the formal definition is a little bit more complex than we're going to get into right now. But basically, the absolute value is all about distance. So if we're just thinking about our number line here, let's take a look here at the number that we evaluated with our absolute value. We were looking at -13. All right, so that's just over here to the left. Oops, forgot my one in front. That's just over here to the left of 0. But if somebody asks you, right, what is the distance between these two numbers? How far apart are they? Right, so if you think about it in terms of a distance, well, a distance can't be negative, right? It always has to be positive. There are 13 units in between 0 and -13. So that's how the absolute value is defined. So basically, if you ever are taking the absolute value of a positive number, it stays positive because you're just asking yourself, what's the distance between 0 and that positive number? Well, fortunately for us, whatever that positive number is, that is the distance. All right, and as we saw over here with this -13 example, the same sort of idea happens. All right, so a lot of the times when you ask people, what does an absolute value do? They'll say, well, it changes a negative number into a positive number. Yeah, that's close enough, But this is a better way to think about it. Basically, you're trying to figure out what is my distance from 0.